spent my whole damn life in the city. Anywhere I go, DC's coming with me. I spent my whole damn life in the city. I can go for broke, but the capital is in me. I spent my whole damn life in the city. Anywhere I go, DC's coming with me. I spent my whole damn life in the city. I can go for broke, but the capital is in me.
Welcome, everyone, to District Divided at DC Sports Podcast. More specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. I am Amit. That is KDot. This episode, should the Washington Commanders trade for Brandon Aiyuk? Big news from Brandon Aiyuk on TikTok, of all sources, posting a video that has caused a bit of a stir, both locally, nationally. We're going to get into that, whether KDot would trade for Brandon Aiyuk, whether I would trade for Brandon Aiyuk, what that contract would look like if we did, what draft compensation, etc. John Keim wrote an article on Jayden Daniels. We may touch on that because it does kind of mix with at least my Brandon Aiyuk take, so we'll see. But before we begin that episode, we have the comment mailbag, as we always do the after the pod. If you could please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and a laughing KDot.
It's not a something so I can be fucking losing. We're gonna laugh through this, you guys. Share this shit. Share this shit. Share this shit. Share. Do you know not chat roulette? There was another one like Omegly.
Never heard of it.
It's like some random fucking chat website where you just click and you. There's a motherfucker on there. I think the website's gone out of business, but he would be Kermit the Frog.
Okay.
And he would just fuck with people as Kermit the Frog. And his big thing was like, he'd have a cucumber penis. Just kind of show up.
What? How did you get there?
He would talk to these girls. I guess it's kind of fucked up because they're like little girls.
Oh my Lord.
They'd be like, you want to make a TikTok? You want to make a TikTok?
Oh, okay, got it. So you heard the TikTok. Jesus. Okay, you know what? As the host, I'm gonna call myself host 1A just for this moment because my Lord. Share the shit, please. We're gonna go ahead and continue with the episode.
And look up the current videos; they're fucking hilarious.
If you want to, and if you don't, I'm not judging you. Again, this is Hey, it's a Commanders sports show here, okay? And we do have some big news in what's otherwise a pretty dead period, so we're kind of appreciative for it as well. So, once again, the topic of this episode, Brandon Aiyuk, could he come to the Washington Commanders? Of course, this would be a trade if it were to happen, but before we get into what we would do, let's go ahead and set the table over here for it. So, again, on TikTok, Brandon Aiyuk posted the following video. KDot, if you could play that, please.
I can.
Bro, look in the cam, bro. Look the cam.
He got me vlogging this shit.
Bro, what? What happened, bro? They said they don't want me back. I swear.
Oh my Lord.
A TikTok.
A TikTok. Okay. So Brandon Aiyuk posts that. And of course, Jayden Daniels is on the other side of that screen, and he's quite clearly excited. Now, why would Jayden Daniels be excited? I'm sure a lot of you already know the answer to this, but of course, they played at Arizona State together. And just before the draft, Jayden was asked a question, and this was his answer to the question, along with the question. KDot, if you could play that, please.
Who's your dream teammate?
Brandon Aiyuk.
Brandon Aiyuk.
Brandon Aiyuk.
Brandon Aiyuk. Okay, I thought you said Brandon Knight. I was like, NBA player.
Nah.
Okay, Brandon Aiyuk.
Yeah.
That'd be tough.
Right. So between that question and answer and them clearly talking what seems like every day, and I think Jayden has even said that they talk every day, there's a little bit of smoke over here. So that leads to the question. We talked about it a little bit during the draft, KDot, even a bit before the draft as well. The 49ers are in an interesting situation where they have any number of stars that they need to pay. Some they have, some they're going to. Aiyuk might be one of them. The question to you is, would you trade for Brandon Aiyuk?
It's a toughie. So like we talked about this briefly around the draft, and I think that me and you were both of the idea that where Washington kind of sat structurally in their timeline as far as building the team it didn't really going after Brandon Aiyuk did not really fit anything else that they were doing as far as in the offseason, right? Like you look at the veterans that they brought in, short-term deals. You could totally see they're just there structurally to try to basically create some sort of leadership on both sides of the football for the most part. So like you bring in a Bobby Wagner who's still playing at a high level, but we've already seen the proof is in the pudding as far as him being here and what's that done, what that's done for the team as far from a leadership standpoint, right? Then you look offensively, Zach Ertz, not costing us shit. He'll be gone a fucking year, so it doesn't mean anything really. The other guys that you have are not dudes that are breaking the bank as far as contract. Your Frankie Louvu, your Jeremy Chen, it's dudes that are still young and they're on the upswing. Brandon Aiyuk has already arrived, if you're going to say anything, right? Which is what you get into, what is San Francisco is going to get into, and we'll get into some of the numbers and stuff in a bit. But to keep it strictly Washington-centric, I think what you have to kind of weigh is that even if this is something that fits outside the realm of what it is that you're doing on your timeline as far as the team goes, right? Is it worth what you're seeing with the development of Jayden Daniels to get him a studded wide receiver and somebody that he's absolutely comfortable with? And we talk about those days at ASU. Once again, it's all sort of right there for you. Like they pulled magic together. Like you look at the numbers. In 2019 is the only year they played together there at ASU. Jayden Daniels almost 3,000 yards passing. You see the touchdown to interception ratio, and you see those numbers from Brandon Aiyuk. I mean, they're just scream off to you. And if we're looking at what it is for that big playmaker standpoint from Daniels, you add a Brandon Aiyuk, he's absolutely there. I mean, just I'll roll the clip. You see this, 81 yards, bomb against fucking Oregon.
There's that ball placement.
Perfect ball placement. And this is really, really early, right, in Jayden Daniels' career. So you look at this and you say, both these guys are better now. So, like, the idea that you'd have somebody that Jayden Daniels is so fucking amped to play with, as you saw in that interview, and to have somebody of that caliber, I don't think it ever hurts to have someone come in the building that your quarterback is already comfortable with. What are the cons with that? Unless you think maybe it's like babying your quarterback. But I just, like, the pros totally outweigh the cons. The thing for me is that if we talk about this being a team that is trusting the process of things, that are not straying away from what it is, the road at which it is they're on, they have their process of doing things. You look at the coach search, you look at what we've done even free agency, you look at what they've done draft. We broke down even the video that we saw, the Commanders log, where you see what it is that they're looking at as far as Commanders guys in the building. I don't know why you qualifies as far as that, what they're looking for. I don't know. I think so. It's just, is this one of the situations where you have a process, maybe this doesn't fit, but you have to be a little more flexible to a certain degree to say, hey, this works for what this kind of works for what we're doing. We can make this move here. Or is it far enough outside the realm where you're like, hey, if we're going to stick to a process, we're going to stick to what it is we're doing, this does not fit. So we can't do it just because it doesn't.
Yeah, it's to your point, KDot, when we first went through this question of should we trade for Brandon Aiyuk, it was a tricky one for me too, because for those that have followed the show, I think, KDot and I have both been in agreement that year one is a lot about culture setting. And when you look at the free agency signings that we've made, when you look at the draft picks that we've brought in and how a lot of them have been captains and are captains, from their previous colleges and now being pros, you would hope that leadership translates, right? So there's quite clearly a focus over there. Then you have a rookie quarterback. You want to make sure he gels with everybody. KDot, you had mentioned that the pros far outweigh the cons in terms of making sure that these two guys are already on the same page, and that's awesome. I agree, but let's also state the cons. If Brandon Aiyuk came here immediately, does he immediately start just gravitating towards him? And all of a sudden, Brandon's down there somewhere, for example. And we still have Terry, we still have Jahan, but because there's so much familiarity, can that potentially start? It's a minor talking point, in my opinion. I think if you can make the quarterback comfortable, that's great. But he is a rookie. So where do we land on that? So I'm going to go ahead and give a clear answer, because I've always been on the side of I don't want to pay someone big money, especially year one of a new regime. Mm-hmm. This would be the only exception. So if it were to happen, I'm going to say yes, I would make this trade. If it were to happen, I would be happy about it. I don't want this happening for anybody else, just to be clear. So if we're going to make a big splash, this offseason, let it be this one, because we have the familiarity between Jayden Daniels and Brandon Aiyuk. We have the familiarity, presumably, between Adam Peters and the San Francisco organization and Brandon Aiyuk. So if we were to trade for him, it signals two things to me, because when matters a whole lot in life. If we're doing this after we've seen Jayden Daniels, right, on the field, in the locker room, etc., and we go, man, we really like what we see. We feel we can trust him with this move. We can trust bringing in his best friend over here, and we could still get Terry, Jahan, Luke McCaffrey, who those two are getting along very, very well so far. Ben Sinnott, the senator, as we say, Zach Ertz, he can still get them involved. That's great. And Adam Peters also making that move would mean, hey, he knows Brandon Aiyuk is legit. So those two signals to me would have me very, very excited. Okay. Now let's talk about Brandon Aiyuk, the player. I dove into the numbers a little bit, and I asked KDot to make a couple graphics here, and they're awesome, by the way. You're about to see them in a moment. I want to first look at the characteristics of receivers, at least that I look for. I want them to be explosive, and I want them to be high impact. And so the way that we define explosive with this first graphic over here is players with 75 or more catches and a yards per catch of greater than 17. These are your explosive wide receivers, and you're about to see 5 of them on the screen over here. Of course, we see Brandon Aiyuk, and then you're going to see 4 other dogs. I mean, we're Jalen Waddle over in Miami, electric wide receiver, A.J. Brown, we're familiar in the NFC East, Deebo Samuel, Brandon's teammate, and Jamar Chase. That represents single seasons since Aiyuk was drafted. So in the last 4 NFL seasons, only those 5 people have posted a single regular season of 75 or more catches and a yards per catch of over 17. So that is really, really nice. Well, what about impact? What about how meaningful that catch is? So there's something called receiving success rate. And the way this works is 1st and 10, you are required to get at least 40% of the yards, so 4 yards. 2nd and 10, at least 60% or 6 yards. 3rd and 4th down, you got to get them all, right? Those are the money downs, 100%. You need to be able to get those. So what about receivers with a receiving success rate of 70% or greater and at least 100 targets? So they're getting targeted throughout the season. Can we look at that list, please?
Survey says.
Yeah. So that's only going to be one person, and that's Brandon Aiyuk. So we are now looking, KDot, at an explosive wide receiver at age 26, a high impact wide receiver based on the targets that he receives and his ability to move the chains for you. And he's already got a relationship with Jayden Daniels. This to me is a very special case. Our GM has a relationship with that exact team. We have the cap space to do this. So from our perspective, this is the one exception I would make. And I would say, yes, bring this guy in because he can at least be a part of Jayden Daniels' initial boom. You can see that with Josh Allen, for example, who maybe struggled for a couple seasons, depending on what you think. But then Stephon Diggs enters. All of a sudden, he takes off. What about Tua? He gets Tyreek Hill. He takes off. You've seen many, many examples of Jalen Hurts with A.J. Brown. The moment they get this wide receiver, and you could see with the numbers that Brandon Aiyuk is, and actually, KDot, if we could look at Brandon Aiyuk's 4 seasons of production so far, there you go. Thank you. You're going to see, again, 12 games, 11 games started his rookie year, then 17, 16, 17, 17, 16, 16, and that yardage keeps going up, right? That catch percentage is great. The first downs are there. Like, this man will be on the field for you. This man will produce for you. And he's already really good friends, best friends, with our quarterback over here as we enter a new era. KDot, what did you think of the argument? Would you buy into that?
Yes. So the thing is that, like, bottom line, and we said it even last time when we talked about Aiyuk, does Aiyuk make your football team better? Yeah. There's no question about it. And if you're also looking at it from a number standpoint, which is what I think the conversation kind of got to get into as far as from a valuation standpoint, right? So, like, we know we have the cap space here. I'll pull up some to know exactly what's going on in San Francisco as far as the Aiyuk deal and what is he looking for financially. So Mike Silver, everybody's seen him as far as ESPN, and I think he works for San Francisco Chronicle now.
Mm-hmm.
But so 49ers, they're offering around the $26 million range, which is not the Justin Jefferson money, nor should it be. I mean, teach his own, but it's closer to Devontae Smith.
We're in agreement.
Brown the next year. I mean, that's the thing is like you just threw those stats out there as far as his explosive playmaking and also him getting better, right? Do I think he's as good as Justin Jefferson? Absolutely not. But if we're looking at, all right, well, who makes around that? So we know $26 million is not good enough for him. This is also something that San Francisco could have offered him last year. He would have said yes to, and they could have dodged this entire fucking thing. But whatever. If you're looking at the dudes that are around there and who's above, you can look as far as even this year, as far as from the contracts right now. So we know Justin Jefferson's number one. You see anyone with a star, somebody that's re-signed on that deal this offseason, sometime in 2024. So Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jalen Waddle, and Devontae Smith. If they're offering around 26, then that puts them squarely behind Cooper Kupp, but right above Devontae Smith. I look at that and I look at the numbers, especially the ones that you just showed me, and I'm asking, like, do I think Aiyuk is worth that? Yeah, because if I'm looking at where it is that you look at San Francisco's looking at him as far as in that second tier, these are the guys that are showing up as far as that goes. Nico Collins, DK Metcalf, who's probably going to want more money soon. Deebo Samuel, his teammate, as far as the money and everything that they've been spending on Thursday there. Our own Terry McLaurin right there, who, once again, you're looking at Washington, you're like, wow, at least we dodged this whole price reset for a little bit, right? Yeah. So, like, if you're Brandon Aiyuk, so you want probably, I'm thinking $3 million a year probably gets it done.
30
and if you look at 30 a year. So if you're looking at 30 a year and where it was back as far as that top receiver contracts thing, that puts them right around the Amon-Ra St. Brown and an old Tyreek Hill. I mean, that's like a 2 or 3 year old deal, but above Jalen Waddle and stuff. I think that's well worth what it is we've seen as far as his career stats and where it is that he's getting better. Of all the numbers that really truly matter, he's been getting better at. And the idea that you'd have a team that probably passes more friendly than San Francisco does could get those numbers even higher. The thing with me with Washington is that, like, if you trade for Aiyuk, the developmental standpoint is the only thing as far as you mentioned Jahan Dotson and like a Luke McCaffrey who's looked good so far. As far
what
as
happens,
is what happens. So, like, Aiyuk to me is sort of that Jahan replacement to a certain degree as far as the big playmaker guy. I don't know if he steps on Terry all that much because I think Terry and him can kind of coexist really, really well. I also think Luke McCaffrey, depending on how it is, I look at him more as a slot guy than other things. If he's going to be that guy for them, then I think you can have those three kind of work out. But if you are a true believer in Jahan Dotson, I think those are where his targets are going to hurt. So it's like, are you committing to Aiyuk and saying, all right, I think Aiyuk, if you get him and put him in our facility right now, will probably look better than Jahan Dotson. I just think there's more experience. Jayden likes him. I just think that that's going to be the thing. So do you pay for the 26-year-old Brandon Aiyuk, or do you wait to see if Jahan Dotson gets better? If I'm being completely honest, I'd go with the dude that's more of a sure thing.
Okay. Yeah, but that's what makes the conversation so tricky, right? Is like, again, Brandon Aiyuk, 7th in the NFL in receiving yards this past season. So he's beginning to trend in that right direction, right? 1,300 yards, 17.9 yards per reception is crazy high. Like, you know, Deshaun Jackson was one of my favorite players, higher than that. Like, this guy is explosive, man.
He's a big playmaker.
He's second team All-Pro Associated Press this past season, first team All-Pro according to PFF, and they look at the more advanced analytics, and that's sort of what we did a little bit over here by picking the receiving success rate and then, you know, those stats, being able to determine impact and explosiveness for the wide receiver position with individual seasons. But then we also have to look at what how he would fit here. So once again, I think that helps with the Cliff Kingsbury offense and wanting to spread the field and wanting to get downfield. Brandon fits there. Now, another aspect of this is, well, what about San Francisco, right? They don't have to trade him. And presumably, that when he said they don't want me back, it was in reference to San Francisco. Lord, what if it was about something else? That'd be quite funny after all this. But assuming that's the case, let's go ahead and look at the timeline here. So April 25th was the NFL draft, right? What did they do in the first round? Took a wide receiver. They took Ricky Pearsall out of Florida. Okay. Well, what about after that? So is he a replacement for Brandon Aiyuk? Maybe they're pushing all in. Okay. Well, May 29th, Christian McCaffrey gets a 2-year, $38 million extension. So money's starting to get doled out. That's June 4th, excuse me, because May 29th, it was actually another wide receiver, Juwan Jennings, who got a 2-year, $15.4 million extension. So money is starting to go to other people, and Brandon Aiyuk is sitting there watching. He's watched a first-round wide receiver come in. He's watching another wide receiver that's not as good as him make some money here, and he's watching Christian McCaffrey get a raise. Now, San Francisco has the cap space this season to do it. They have $31 million right now. Next season, negative $23 million, and that does not include Brandon Aiyuk on the books, and that includes Brock Purdy making $1.1 million, and he is due an extension. And that extension could be, if depending on who you listen to, upwards of $65 a year. I'm sure maybe he would take 55. I don't know where you stand on the whole Brock Purdy thing, guys, but he's going to make money, and they need to make space for that. So the question is, do they trade him this year and get something back? They could. Or maybe they're going, hey, we're going to push all in. But then Aiyuk is definitely walking in free agency. I don't see a situation based on everything I saw where they keep him unless they go, they can replace Brock Purdy, KDot, which maybe they feel they can. I don't know. But that's a deeper can of worms for them to figure out. But they have put themselves in quite the situation here.
Well, Purdy does not look like Purdy without Aiyuk. I know that, unless Pearsall's that dude, which is always the case. Because, I mean, some of these wide receivers, they look, once again, I look at the wide receiver position a lot like what it is that people look at as far as what running back has been over the last few years, which is that these dudes are coming out of college looking so much better than they typically do. I mean, you look at Jahan, even his rookie season, everybody was, oh shit, anoint him, right? So like, there's a value that you can get out of some of these wide receivers if you're picking the right ones and you have the system in place, right? Yeah, if I'm San Francisco at this particular point in time, I'm just not in a rush, right? I'm looking for the deal that's going to work out best for me. Right now, when you see a TikTok like that come out, you'd think the value is pretty low as far as what you're going to get, because everybody's of the idea, okay, well, if Aiyuk is out here saying that he's about to be a problem, whatever. But if you're San Fran, you're like, what do you want? If he's a top 10 receiver, if you're trading for him, it's not like he doesn't have a no trade clause. So he can get traded without having a new deal on the books. Mm-hmm. Is he okay with just leaving there to be on a prove-it deal with somebody? If you're that person making that trade, you got to take that into consideration and evaluation, right? So like, am I paying him? Am I just getting a year from him before I figure out what it is we're going to do? If you're Washington, do you look at either of those and say, okay, that kind of works? Like, if you're Aiyuk, do you say, hey, I'd like a deal, but if they're not going to pay me, I feel disrespected by San Francisco, and at least I'll have fun for a year working for Jayden, and I'll prove that I'm fucking worth it, right? Right. I don't know what goes into that. It's a toughie, man. It's such a hard. But you know, the more and more you just think about it, the more and more I'm just of the idea that like I do it. I do it. Like I think we get into how much it would cost us. Like I float this to you.
Sure.
Second round pick.
In a heartbeat. As
second round pick numbers, with or without contract.
It's second round or with. I'm not doing a rental. This is again, we have the cap space to do this. I've written down 28 to 32 million AAV for 3 to 4 years. You decide.
And you'd be good with it.
I'd be good with it. So if I'm going 4 years, 120, I'm good with it. Because here's the other thing. People are looking at wide receivers like running backs, and I actually get that, right? Because if you talk to people, just any fan, casual or like hardcore, naming the top 10 wide receivers in the NFL is very tricky and very subjective, right? I get it. However, I don't see the money going down because so many first-round wide receivers are coming in, but so many of them are immediately becoming really, really good and are able to command that type of money, because not every wide receiver that goes in the first round is just a complete hit at the same time. So there is still some miss with wide receivers. I think there's this idea that they all hit. Just before Justin Jefferson went, Jalen Reagor went, and 3 picks later, Brandon Aiyuk went. So like you still get hits. There you go. So you get hits and misses still. And this to me is a guy that's peaking at the right time, that can play with his best friend, and whose best friend is our franchise. I'm wearing the jersey here. I mean, like, you know, he's providing a lot of hope over here. And by all accounts, according to John Keim in that article, like, people love what they see from Jayden. So again, what it signals to me, I think, is excellent. If we were to give a second round pick, maybe even a fifth as well. I'm serious about this, like a second and a fifth or something like that. And we gave him 4 years, 120, or 3 years, 95. I think he takes that, and I think we roll with it. And I think we have a pretty good wide receiver core. I think, by the way, that raises our ceiling considerably, which is why I do this.
So I saw somewhere, this is all the rumor mill, but somebody was saying a 2 and a 3 gets it done.
Oh, that gets it done. That's overkill.
Well, all right. If you're San Francisco, this is the reason I'm saying that, like, I'm waiting for the best offer.
Sure.
So, like, Washington is project. What was our over? What, 6.5? Was
yeah,
our,
it was 6.5.
Does Aiyuk change it 3 or 4 games for us?
I think it changes it about 2
at most, right? So, like, but if I'm Baltimore, I know they won't, but Kansas City should absolutely be in this conversation.
Oh, they should.
If I'm Buffalo, just got rid of Stephon Diggs and looking for a guy, would I offer that knowing that this is the dude that could take me over the top?
Yeah, I suppose you would. I see what you're saying.
So I'm saying, like, if I'm Washington and it gets into a bidding war, I'm out. I'm out. So, like, I love the idea of having Aiyuk, but I'm not gonna mortgage everything if I actually feel good about Dotson and finding out where McCaffrey is. Like, I'm good with it. The thing is, like, I look at the wide receiving core at this point, and I understand why people would say, well, dude, because I've said it even on this podcast, nobody's safe. And I agree with that. Nobody's safe. But do I really want to give, like, if it costs a 2 and a fucking 3 because there's a bidding war, compared to, like, I can have this front office even get close to repeating what it is it looks on paper what they did in this last draft. I take it. I take the draft picks.
If we're talking 2 and 3 here, the max I would go, I just said 2 and 5 is what I would do, is the absolute max. Anything beyond that, I'm not doing it, because, again, we got Luke McCaffrey going in with Jayden Daniels. This reminds me of the Cooper Kupp, Matthew. I'm not saying that's what they are, but, like, you know, that whole breakfast bunch or whatever that was. Yeah. And you saw the production. That stuff matters. We got 2 rookies going in at 5:45 a.m. beating everybody. It's a quarterback and a wide receiver. That's awesome. Terry is helping Luke McCaffrey out. Jahan Dotson is a good football player. Last year's offense was just a travesty because it was so poorly schemed, and everyone can talk about it now. Cosme's talked about it. Like, we do have some good wide receivers here that I'm excited for the national audience of fans to be able to see, because I do think that we have a better coaching staff in place to be able to highlight those players. So I like our wide receiving core. I was just saying that as we dive into the numbers and I go, hey, this guy's receiving success rate on at least 100 targets across all 4 seasons for all wide receivers, all tight ends, all running backs. He's the only one to do that. Like, this guy is really, really impactful. He's really good, and he's already got a clear connection with the guy. They only played 1 year together at ASU, and they're still this tight. Like, there's something there.
No, I know. I stumbled upon Jayden Daniels' Pinterest page the other day, and it was, I mean, I know what happened.
They played 5 years ago. Okay, like, they played together 5 years ago, and they're this tight. Like, clearly, there's something there.
All right, I've just taught myself into something else. So, like,
go ahead. That's what this is for.
We did not talk about the hiring of Dylan Thompson on the pod.
We have not.
He was the basically what everybody would say, basically special sauce of Houston last year. It was a big deal. I actually don't think it got praised enough.
DJ Stroud loves him.
So, like, when they talk about the team building aspect of stuff, when you talk about, like, those the breakfast call, like the shit between, or like what happens to get the guys motivated. I've talked about it on this pod as far as, like, when you talk about building that culture and being a coach, the knowing your why, knowing got people's whys is the biggest thing of it. And I actually got to hear CJ Stroud and Will Anderson both verbatim mention that, which was like, Oh yeah, they doing what I need them to do. Is it almost so like this is a stretch?
Of course. What have we been doing? Okay, we're throwing some numbers. We're making some. We're stretching a bit. It's fine.
Is it better developmentally for your quarterback to kind of be out there on his own, to develop and build those relationships with that team and not getting stuck with his guy?
KDot, I kid you not. That is the multi-million-dollar question here. That's what makes this so hard. Is he going to gravitate just to Brandon, and does that fuck everything else up? That is a huge question.
So think about like Top Golf, which I played Top Golf on this last weekend, and I finally got over the hump. I'm one of the worst golf players ever, but I can hit a ball now. I've never.
Hey, isn't that pretty cool?
Motherfucker, I was on a golf team at Wilson, and I couldn't drive for shit. So like, my dad and my brother-in-law's dad, they finally got me to keep my head down during the entire swing process.
It's one of the hardest parts when you're a beginner.
I was good. I came in third place. Fucking awesome.
There we go.
But when you hear about things like the Top Golf stuff, which I know people want to forget about in this Saturday, and once again, this is not a criticism really of Jayden, because I think that a lot of people sort of just naturally this way. When you have certain guys that you throw them in a room with strangers, your JJ McCarthy's or whatever, that are just like, everyone's just going to gravitate towards me. Compared to if you're a more soft-spoken guy like Jayden, you lean on your connections a bit because that's how you really get through to somebody. Now, does that mean that your connection to Aiyuk could be world-beating legendary? Fuck yeah. The connection could be incredible, but it could also, worst case scenario, at least not allow for the same sort of established relationship to grow between some of the other guys. Your Jahan Dawson, your Terry McLaurin, your Senator. So I'm just saying, like, if it was free, my hope is that Aiyuk gets traded to one of those contenders that give up like a second rounder for him, and they make their run. But Aiyuk does not get a new contract until they see what it is that he did what he does over the course.
Not
of the
everyone's
year.
the Jets, and this will not be a Hassan Reddick situation. But I understand where you're coming from. Yeah.
And then to me, the perfect scenario would be, we know where Jahan's at, we know where McCaffrey's at, and if we want to add him in free agency, we have the extra boost that we have Jayden here.
Mm-hmm.
So like that to me is like going back to what it is we talked about the draft is like, Aiyuk to me makes a ton of sense next year. I don't want to get rid of the draft capital to go get him. And I understand how special he is. I get it. And I know that it part of me should not be really loyal to anybody that's currently in the uniform because I've seen the performance, even though I don't blame them. I blame the coaching staff. Mm-hmm. I'm so curious to just see what this offense looks like.
Absolutely. I'm also very curious, and I'm fine to stand pat, just to be clear, because this is a difficult question to answer. But I would also be lying.
He was here.
That's the thing. I would be lying if I didn't say this offense changes dramatically with him as wide receiver 1, Terry is wide receiver 2. Yeah. And like that suddenly it is a very scary prospect for opposing defenses. And Dan Quinn loves that stuff in terms of how hard it is to guard. So
we'll change my mind again. I'd do it.
It's hard. No, but that's the whole point. Is it's so hard because you also don't want to risk. Like, do we ruin our prospect because, and that's why the very beginning of the thing I wanted to point out about the pros and cons of knowing the guy is there is a significant con to it. But that's why you see, can we trust him after just a couple months? And that's quite the leap for Adam Peters, for Dan Quinn, etc. to make, which is why if they do it, and I trust the front office, as do you, that to me signals, holy shit, we're in a much better place than I think, because I would trust them with this move. Which I think that's where that comes in. So if we see that news break, I would go, these guys really believe in Jayden. And that is what it truly signals to me more than anything else.
I like that point of it, is that like, I trust these guys to stick to their process.
Yes.
I don't believe
that over everything. Right. And if Brandon fits in it, holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah. And I can also see like, if because of that relationship that you have Lynch and Peters to like what Lynch handpicked Peters because he knew him back from Denver. When Denver, John Lynch after post career was trying to figure out what it is he wanted to do. John Elway brought him in, but couldn't find really a spot for him, so just had him kind of scouting defensive backs. He fell in love with Adam Peters. So like the moment that he got the GM job in San Francisco, the first person he calls is Elway down and like he needs Peters. I need Peters with me. Yeah. So like I can see a scenario or a situation where these two guys can look at a situation, try to figure out what mutually benefits each other.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you get your guy. We know your quarterback loves him, and we'll get just compensation. We're not going to ask you for too much. But if you're San Francisco, you're also like, fuck that. Whoever's going to give me the most is going to give me the most.
And perfectly send him out of conference. And let's be real, depending on how he feels about Adam Peters, if he goes, hey, that guy can build a winner over there, am I trading a very significant piece that screws us over? So there's that aspect too. I would just want to be 100% clear. I would not do this kind of thing for T. Higgins. I would not do this kind of thing for L'Jarius Sneed before he got traded. This, after digging more into the relationship, hey, free agent would be pretty cool, huh? But like, nose day. Anyway, that's an aside. Don't get me going. But this to me is a very unique situation, and I agree with you. The perfect world, KDot, is he comes in as a free agent next year. It just seems so unlikely. It seems like he would get moved unless the Niners truly are adamant on going all in. I don't see them giving him a deal. That's the one thing I don't see. And if they do, then I got big questions about Brock Purdy and his ability to stick around. I have no idea how they're going to maneuver all that. So it's an interesting thing. Any final thoughts before we move to the comment mailbag?
So I'm sure as Commanders fans, we're all on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck it's called. And there's a dude that's always around, Brandon, Jay Daniels at Jay Daniels MVP.
Yes.
Great account. So he was at Eagles wide receivers, AJ Brown, $32 million a year, Devontae Smith, $25 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins, Tyreek Hill, $30 million a year. Jalen Waddle, $28 million a year. Commanders wide receivers, Terry McLaurin, $22.7 million a year. Jahan Dotson, $3.7 million a year. When you look at that, you're like, yeah, we can afford this. So like
easily.
Now you would look at those other two teams to say that they are perennial double-digit win teams. And like, does adding Aiyuk to that mean that we're a double-digit win team? I don't know. Could be. I mean, could be. This fucking mouse, you son of a bitch.
Did it die again?
It died on me. It kind of messed up timing on my. Hold on, give me a second.
Yep, sure.
It could be, especially when you look at stuff like this. This could be magical. Okay, like this. Seeing this in the burgundy and gold, look, the colors ain't all that dissimilar.
They're quite similar. They are quite similar. Foreshadowing,
right? It's always meant to be. So, like, look, like you said, if these dudes decide that this works, I've trusted them in their process so far. I'm going to assume that they're making it work, and it just means, like you said, and maybe we get to the Keim article, it means that Daniels is maybe ahead of schedule, and we can trust that we can add this additional piece to him. Or if you maybe even add another piece, because David Bakhtiari has been tweeting today.
You know what? We could talk about the Keim article and Bach if you want in the after the pod, and so that way we can cover everything as well. Hopefully that sounds okay to you. Yeah, man, Bakhtiari, don't get me started. Let's go to comment mailbag. Okay. Thank you guys for listening to 39 minutes of us going, yes,
maybe,
yeah, like maybe. I don't know, but we thoroughly appreciate it.
But I think it's like, even on Twitter, it's polarizing. I think people feel strongly one way or the other. I don't know how I can understand why you'd feel strongly to bring him in. I do not understand feeling strongly about not bringing him in.
Yeah, anyone that's saying absolutely not, I would love to know why. Genuinely, I would love to know why, because he is truly, it looks like, ascending at the right time. He was just named second team All-Pro and first team All-Pro for PFF. Like, he is ascending at the right time. So I don't know how you'd just be like, nah, no thanks. that's a bit much for me. We go over to the comment mailbag where we have a handful of comments, and we thoroughly appreciate you guys for them. Did your mouse die?
No, it's here. Just can't find.
Cool. Oh, that's
Are
fine.
you shitting me? Are
It's
you
not here?
shitting me? I think going through everything, I deleted my comment mailbag bit.
But you know what? It's all
which
good.
is ridiculous. No, it's not. It's not fucking good, Amit. Like it's not cool at all. So like what I'm doing right now, at least to some degree, is just a little bit of vamping. So like I'm gonna vamp just a little bit longer, just so I can upload the thing. I mean, some people would say that like, you know what, just for everybody to have a good time.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
And we're in the comment mailbag where we have a handful of comments. Very well done there, KDot. And we're going to go ahead and begin with Earl Bruce. Shout out Earl Bruce, one of the OGs of the show. And we're doing this thing where we explain what the previous episode was. It's about the offensive line and optimism around it, or pessimism around it. Choice is yours. But beginning with Earl Bruce, I'm a big fan of Brandon Coleman and Ben Sinnott, once again, the Senator. I believe the interior of the offensive line will be strong, but I also think that the tackles will be good. The most important thing about the Commanders log is Darrell Green and the other retired players being recognized and welcome back. Also, I love the barbecue held after minicamp for all Commanders employees. A feeling of family is essential for successful organizations. Thanks to both of you for all of your great content. Earl, thank you for an awesome comment. We greatly appreciate it. And hey, optimism around Brandon Coleman, who got some reps at left tackle, and Ben Sinnott. You look at the measurables compared to George Kittle and the whole Adam Peters thing and the Chris Cooley comparisons with the H-back. Like, there is so much versatility with Ben Sinnott, and we know how KDot feels about Ben Sinnott. Lots of excitement there, KDot.
Can you do me a favor? Can you read he said something very specifically about the barbecue, the picnic?
Yeah,
thing?
sure. You want me to reread that part?
Just that part.
Also, I love the barbecue held after minicamp for all Commanders employees. A feeling of family is essential for successful organizations. That was that line.
Two-way street with that.
Okay.
I'm a firm believer in, for most companies and businesses, fuck that. So as working as a supervisor for a major fucking corporation, when you force feed people that we're a family bullshit, so come and work in next weekend because we're guilt tripping you and they were a family nonsense, I fucking despise it. But a football team can be a little bit different than other businesses go, right? There are a few places in which you can have a bunch of posters that say you need to arrive violently somewhere and that be an HR violation. So like there is a degree of
counterpoint.
If you're going to do this, if this is what we're going to be, which I'd love to have happen, the Ravens do it. If we're going to be the Steelers do it, if we're going to be a family, then we gotta fucking mean that shit. Because I can sure enough know that Dan Snyder, some fucking yacht bitch ass, at some point, say, hey, we're gonna do some sort of like family function. Hey, let's go to Six Flags together. It's a family thing, right? Like,
yeah, but apparently he had other intentions behind that barbecue. So we're gonna go to Earl Bruce for yet another comment over here. His top 5 jerseys. So he goes, my top 5 jerseys are Jurgensen, Riggins, Green, Taylor, and Fletcher. Some quality jerseys.
I know. Okay.
Now it's all time instead of just the yacht bitch era. But still, I mean, those are.
I take those. Just give me Sammy Baugh instead of London Fletcher.
Okay. I mean, that's a quality list that Earl's got over there.
It is.
And then we go to Allison Lombard, who is now just a consistent member of the show at this point. Greatly appreciate you. The new G. Who begins with, we'll see about the run-pass ratio, but Austin Eckler is basically Larry Centers. How about a throwback to Larry Centers?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, how about it? Yeah, by the way, there are a couple throwbacks in here. There's one more coming up in a moment. So that's one comment from Allison, and we'll just say them all and then react to them accordingly. Okay. Comment number 2 of 3. What about Daniels' pressure to sack ratio? Okay, so which of course that was high in college. We've talked about it. And then the third comment from Allison. Oh, there might be a fourth one actually later on. We'll do that one later. But these three all came in quick succession. Ben Sinnott reminds me of Mark Bavaro. I'm not sure that works in the modern NFL, but he will be a fun watch and a fan favorite. And those are the three comments from Allison Lombard. KDot, your reaction?
Lots of old names.
Yeah.
I think the Mark Bavaro thing starting lasting on back. I just you got to think outside the box when it comes to what it is that the senator is going to bring to the table, right? So, like, I liked those Kyle Juszczyk thought processes, right? Mm-hmm. It's just I don't look for a one-to-one comparison as much as it's depending on the scenario. Who can he be? So, like, if I'm looking at, like, can you be if Ben can be 60% of the player that Kyle Juszczyk is, and 50% of the player that George Kittle is, and combine those things in an offense in which we're going to move him around and kind of get the most out of him for that, I don't give a fuck what he's compared to. Like, just give me that shit, right? So I just think it just depends on what it is they want to do within the offense for him. Yeah, the pressure to sack ratio, it is a concern. It was a concern for me throughout this entire thing. I kept bringing it up during the Jayden Daniels stuff. I just think the offensive line should be better overall than they were last year. Just should be. Unlike what it is they did with Sam Howell, I don't think they're going to have Jayden Daniels drop back 60 times a fucking game. So, like, the run-to-pass ratio alone just is going to help him as far as that goes. There's also, just from what Cliff Kingsbury's – when you look at the wide receivers and you look at all these guys that talk about as far as Swiss Army knife dudes, it seems like a lot of people that can run quick, shallow routes or at least get open quickly to get the ball out of Jayden Daniels' hands. And a lot of times as far as that pressure-sack ratio with Jayden was there is one thing you can kind of learn, which is something Mahomes has had to learn, which is you don't need to always look for the home run. Take what the defense is giving you. That is one piece of it that can actually translate well. I think Jayden in college, the thing was he understood the power of his legs, and knowing that was always an option, his thought process was, I can take a little longer than other people can because I still have this out. He'll learn pretty quickly. Or at least he should learn pretty quickly as far as adaptable as he is. It's a different ball game now, bud. And you don't have the same amount of time you used to.
Yeah, and he seems very coachable, very malleable to the ideas that are being presented to him. And again, he's the first one in there trying to establish that leadership and figure out what he needs to do. The Keim article talks about how he seems to be practicing for the practice. So you would hope that these things do get better, including the pressure to sack ratio. That's what I would say about that. Yeah. Along with Cliff Kingsbury being known for at least having a quarterback-friendly offense, no matter what you thought of him as a head coach, you knew that at least quarterbacks love playing for him and that he was able to get people open pretty easily. So that's just an aside over there. We go over to Hermit Robin. Appreciate the comments there, Allison. We'll get to your next one up ahead. But we go to Hermit Rob right now. Shout out. DC is going to know Dominique Hampton sooner rather than later. He might be the steal of the draft. This kid has some Sean Taylor in him. Yeah, I said it. Watch his tape and tell me you don't see Sean's game in there. Tall, heavy-handed, hard-hitting free safety. Stands over his victims. Ball hawk. Excellent in the box or in coverage. Tireless. So trusted, he literally played every defensive snap. Going to be a beast in this system. So Hermit Rob has very, very high hopes for Dominique Hampton. If he has, we were using percentages earlier, 10% of Sean Taylor's game, less than that, honestly, I'd be over the moon. I mean, Sean Taylor is one of one. Absolutely incredible safety, man. Nuts. Just a corner in a linebacker's body that happened to have the range of a safety. That was Sean. If Dominique can be anything close to that, oh my God, that'd be awesome. Go ahead, KDot.
If that's the comparison we're going to use, then Dominique is going to be well known, not only with the fan base, but the league office, because he'll be fined the fuck out of.
Sean would have adapted his game, and I maintain that.
No. So
yes, he would have.
Sean wouldn't have had to have adapted his game. Sean's speed and his closing ability as far as free safety to be able to track down his interception numbers and return numbers would have overshadowed the fact that he would have been fined a lot. Okay. Or you have to play him down in the box And if you play him down in the box, he's like leveling.
But by the time these rules came in place, Sean would be in his 30s. He'd be more of the Ed Reed, just sort of
once again.
Smart
Sean Taylor fits all the guys that we think about in the aura that we give them. They fit for an era. They fit specifically for an era. Troy Polamalu fits for that era. Troy Polamalu also be a guy that get fucking that would be getting fined. Bob Sanders, another dude, great for that era. He plays 10 years later, you're getting fined, Bob. Like there's Sean Taylor exists is that perfect moment of when it is the league played a certain way, and you had Sean was just the absolute peak of that. And I wish he would have played the rest of his career. But if it was Sean Taylor now today, that dude would have to, he'd be more of that hybrid safety linebacker, I think, playing around the, because you wouldn't trust him not to want to level a fucking receiver.
We're just going to go ahead and agree to disagree there, KDot, because I think Sean would have adapted his game. I just want to quickly go to Cody Rind over here, shout out, because he goes, they need to redo the Sean Taylor statue next. Just talking about the reorg. And I had forgotten about that. And then I read that comment and I was like, absolutely. I fully believe they should do that, because I still remember that unveiling being like, really?
It makes me angry thinking about that.
Yeah. So hopefully they redo that, because that was, anyway. We go over to Vindo. Shout out Vindo, and shout out Hermit Rob for the comment prior, and Cody Rend right there.
Rob.
Tough mother F, stand up is damn right, KDot. And a lot of crying, laughing emojis over there. KDot, what do you make of the comment?
I love tough motherfuckers. All right. Sean Taylor was a tough motherfucker. Yeah, just play within the confines of the rules of the game.
Which he did. We then go to
for that era.
The Nathan Perry shout out.
Oh, Nathan.
Shout out Nathan, and shout out Rep the District as always. Beginning with quotations here. Average will take you places, end quote. That's something either you said or I said. I can't remember. Maybe we both said it in reference to the line. I wish more people understood this with the line. It's great to have the Trent Williams of the world, but you can win games with the Charles Leno. The line working together, the offensive scheme, and yes, the quarterback can all greatly improve how we view the line at the end of the season. I think, KDot, you and I will continuously go back to that moment where a couple moments where Jacoby Brissett came in, he didn't get sacked, and all of a sudden the ball's moving quickly. So, like, that would be an example of the quarterback play. Then we mentioned the statistics around sacks allowed for the Baltimore Ravens. They had the MVP back there. They were middle of the pack. That's average, right? So you can do a whole lot with an average offensive line. And outside of last year, we've had an above average one. So let's see what happens. But there are reasons for optimism. Any thoughts there, Kato?
You can win a Super Bowl with Andrew Wiley, as did the Kansas City fucking Chiefs did.
It's been done. And Nick Allegretti.
Right? So
we'll see on him, just to be clear. There's optimism there.
Like we talked about O-line ad nauseum. We'll probably still talk about them a bit more before the season starts. Average can absolutely get you places, especially if it's average within the confines of other people are doing the right job and the coaches aren't trying to throw you under the fucking bus.
Yeah, agreed. We go over to Big Papa Grizzly. Shout out Big Papa Grizzly. The Commanders log has been a treat since they launched the first one back. Watching the draft process and seeing the player reactions when they get picked gets you juiced. It has always seemed in past years that the excitement around the team, quote unquote, was very manufactured. Everything about this team seems very genuine so far. The new era just keeps looking brighter. Hashtag raise hail. Hashtag hail. Yeah. I want to say that comment hit the nail on the head, especially around the excitement, because it has felt manufactured in the past. And this time, I think we've said breath of fresh air before. It does feel like that. It feels fun. That Commanders log, I think we talked about it last week. For me, I was like, I'm 45 minutes in. I had no idea. I was just having so much fun watching it and enjoying Javonte Jean-Baptiste being taken and just being emotional as our 7th round pick, like, you know, at the tail end of the draft. And just, it is so cool to see everyone bought in together and it feeling like a family. Maybe not a mandated family barbecue type thing, but like, you know, feeling like that. Go ahead, KDot.
So when I was pulling clips last week for the Commanders log, I tried not to pick the best clips, if I'm being completely honest. I felt as though I didn't want to be disrespectful what it is they put together, and I almost thought that to watch it in its entirety is a treat itself that you as a Commanders fan, if you haven't watched it, you need to do that. My favorite part of the entire thing, which made me realize how real it was, the back and forth between like Quinn and Peters and them. My favorite part of the entire video was when they were tricking Quinn about the Mike Sanderson pick.
Michigan.
It's like right before the clip, right? Michigan. And you see Dan just defensive tackle. Oh, like
he shakes him.
Why'd you do that, man? Like that's not fake. Like that's not fake. That's a real moment. Like you can see the personality, some of the awkwardness in it. Adam Peters is an awkward dude at times. Like, and you get it. Dan Quinn, if it's up to him, just be beers and fucks just all over the fucking place, right? Like it's we're trying to keep it confined. We're trying to work together. We got this mission statement with at least all these different guys from different walks of life, different central theme, central goal. This is what we're doing. We feel it, and it goes without saying. We know we got it. Like, yeah, man, I'm fucking.
It's so awesome. And the moment, of course, with Adam Peters that went viral, the "you're a pain in the ass" to hire Roseman. But actually, if you watch the clip, he held his fucking ground, right? We don't get that. Like, we're not used to that. We would have been taken to the fucking cleaners for the past 20 plus years. And he goes, no, 161. We'll pick here. We'll pick here. It's totally fine. And then we get what we want. And he calls him a pain in the ass. Like, this is cool. Like, this is a really, really good time. We got another comment from Andrew Lally on the Commander's log. So shout out Lally, and shout out again to Big Papa Grizzly for the last comment. Here's Lally. The Commander's log is the synthesis of all that is right about the new regime and all that was wrong with the old.
Yeah.
We are getting an intimate behind the scenes look of what is taking place in Ashburn that rivals Hard Knocks in quality. It actually does, displaying the cohesion and collective vision unfolding. Under YB, yeah, bitch, love that for that. Under YB, we would never get a glimpse like this, as it would only serve to lay bare the dysfunction and deficiency of the organization. With each draft selection, you can see the shared vision of what the team is looking for in its players, following their own board and not being beholden to punditry or what the outside consensus might say to do. How could you not be pumped? How could you not be pumped, KDot, as you were just saying?
Yeah, man. It's just, I love that it's the synthesis. Yeah. Hot fire. That whole.
I mean, that's what Lally brings to the table. He's been on the show before a few times. Like, that's what Lally does, man.
Your new name's Dylon, because you only spit hot fire.
We go to Allison Lamar with another comment over here. Shout out. In terms of content ideas, it would be cool to get your takes predictions in terms of the combination of data and personnel. DQ was 61% single high. I gotta say, just before I continue, Allison brings some insanely good comments, like in terms of not just the throwbacks, but also like all the different, we were talking about trap corners. Like we were talking about different schemes earlier. Here we are with DQ with 61% single high in Dallas last season. What's the best
Eagles fan? Jeez.
Yeah. Just following everything to a fucking T. So shout out Allison, but it continues. What's the best way in terms of personnel and plays to optimize your peeps under those circumstances? So under the circumstances where we're going 61% single high, that seems like a good amount of man to me. I don't know if that's what we want to do. I would have to think about it more. KDot, what do you think?
Oh, I love that we're talking about this shit. This gets in like what it is that I love. Like,
and this is in terms of a content idea. So like maybe we do a whole episode on this, right? Like,
yeah, I'd love to do it, especially now that we have I'd love to do more like film breakdown and stuff. But so following Dan Quinn's career, it transitions in Dallas to what it is that he had as far as playing cover one. I think what you're going to end up seeing, I would not expect, akin to what you're saying, early on for us, a lot of single high safety, just because I don't know what we have as far as a cornerback right now.
That's the thing, right?
But if you look back to what it is he did in Seattle, which was a lot of cover three, like a lot of cover three. Like if you're starting to see like some of the guys that we're talking about, like that, I think fits a lot more with what it is we're seeing. That's also why, like, I know that Allison mentioned Mike Sanderson and how important, how awesome. When we did just the slot,
we were talking about CD, we were talking about neighbors. Yeah, we were talking about. Yep.
if Sanders still ends up being the real fucking deal, right? As far as even at slot, all you really need is one more piece. So like you need one good outside main corner. If you can give me one dude that I can leave out there and not worry about him, whether that ends up being St. Juice or that ends up being Forbes, whoever, if I can just find one, then you could transition to more of the cover one, which is what I know Dan Quinn likes to do. It gives him a lot more flexibility in a sense. You could do that because you could have the high safety kind of look over and see where it is the wide receiver is going and maybe give help to one side compared to the other side. We could do what we need to do to cover up the deficiencies with one guy. But if Sanders still can be that stud, which is what I think, I think he will be.
Same calling pound for pound, the best player in the draft.
To me, it's just looking at the cover three compared to the cover one, and how soon do we transition into seeing it will be a reflection of how much the defense thinks the defense, where it is that we think the defensive backs are.
And so here's where we get into, and so that's why the question was interesting, because it would be under those circumstances, right? That 61. If we were to play that, what would that look like with our current personnel?
Losses.
Yes. Just so that's basically where I was going with that. And what I like about Dan Quinn and what I believe I like about Joe Whitt, because we've yet to see it, this is his first time being a D coordinator, is that there is an adaptability to the league as a whole and its trends in terms of what we need to do schematically. And then the personnel that you have. Does it still make sense to run that with what we currently have? Or should we look to do something else? And then we know that Joe Whitt certainly wants to speak with Cliff Kingsbury so they can help each other out. This is what Cliff, like to do on offense. And this is how I am able to consistently get open from the slot, for example. And Joe Whitt can react to that. And they can sort of do that chess match in June, in July, in August. So that come September, October, we're feeling good. So we'll see what happens there. But that's an excellent question, Allison. Appreciate that comment. And then we got a couple from Tony. Shout out, Tony. It was hilarious how you flipped the commando tuck to A-Train's Coke and Popper nights. Coke in the R's, then tucks his buddy. Amit read the comment, then laughs. KDot looked to his right, then delivers the joke, and Amit's face melts with embarrassment. KDot looks right. Tony, I'm going to respond to that one before I throw it to KDot. You're part of the problem. Okay? You're starting to manifest this A-Train into a real figure. And I need you to know that, because it's one thing for KDot to continuously go, yep, see, look at him. This is A-Train. That's what he does. You too, Tony? Now you're going KDot looks right? This is what's happening? I love you, Tony. You're like the OG. I'm watching you, though. Go ahead, KDot.
So I told you guys a couple weeks ago that I've been designing some T-shirts. So one of the designs that Amit has not gotten to see yet is I'm thinking about a club tuck shirt. So right now it's like 80s neon and pastels is what I'm going for at this particular point. It's interesting where I'm going with it. And the AI's recreation of the A-Train and drag is amazing. So we're Commander Duck.
And then
where the poppers at, bitches? A-Train's in a dress.
This is what you do, Tony. This is what you do. The other comment was
welcome to Club Tuck. Penises.
Okay, got it. Yeah, got it. Okay, so the other comment from Tony was, so you're saying there's a chance for Brandon Aiyuk, which of course was the entire.
Imagine you walk in and they pat you down.
Yeah, I was gonna say
you can feel something. Put it further. Do you have your cocaine with you? No, get to the back of the line. You do not come in here without your coke.
That's the A-Train bouncer. If I'm a bouncer, you don't have coke.
We got rules here at Club Tuck, all right? Sharing is caring, motherfucker.
That would be something. I need ID and possession. I need what you got. Oh, Club man. Well, that was the comment mailbag. And finished with the bang there. Shout out Tony for those two comments, which, again, the last one was, so you're saying there's a chance for Brandon Aiyuk, which, of course, was the episode. And this was District Divided, a DC Sports podcast, more specifically a Washington Commanders podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening to a special Wednesday episode of District Divided. We are going to be off this Friday. I'm out of town, and the Brandon Aiyuk news popped up, so it was perfect timing. But yes,
Wonderful.
I am Amit. That is KDot. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. Wait, go ahead, KDot. How many? Is this a kickoffs thing?
Yeah, it works out perfectly because he is our man Art Monk.
Shout out Art Monk, the legend. 81 days until the season kicks off. We greatly appreciate you guys. Once again, I'm Amit. That is KDot. Thank you guys for listening. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and KDot,
keep it tucked, and then share this shit.
And then share this shit, please. And shout out KDot for all the amazing graphics today. That was a lot, and it was awesome. Seriously, I feel like we painted a whole picture. I'm going to share this shit to way more people than I normally do. And I already share it quite a bit. So you guys please do the same. After the pod begins right now. That's a hell of an episode, bud. I love 40 minutes of maybe. Like that was good, but we went through everything. I mean, it's a tough question.
After the pod is where we get to be honest about things.
There we go.
This is our safe space.
It is.
I thought I was fucking horrific this episode.
Did you think so? Really?
Oh, dude. To me, it was like I had all these, like when I went on my little diatribe about the receivers and stuff, it felt like I just had graphics I wanted to show. Like I didn't feel like that shit.
They were great.
I felt as though I did not do what I needed to do to bring the words to the graphics that I was showing. As much as it was just like, here's the excuses, just show this thing I made. I need to, but
the
like
graphic was heat though.
But to pull the curtain back even further, we're late recording this because I passed out earlier today. So like, I was out of town.
NA train's the problem. No, go ahead.
Well, if you must know, I was helping out. Yesterday I built a playground for some at-risk youth, and last night I spent a very, very long time curing cancer. So fuck you.
Right. With your bare hands, both those things, by the way.
Well, be completely stuck my dick in the sauce and just move around. I'm sorry, I'm lying. There's no cure for cancer. Hopefully, it comes soon.
But he did build the playground for the children.
No, but I built all the graphics. Like I made a bunch of graphics last night. So like, I made a fuck ton of graphics last night. You didn't even get like, dude. I'm looking. There's so many missing. I don't even know what happened to some of them. There's supposed to be.
Do you have them queued up? You could just do a series of those.
I don't even know where the fuck they are. Like where's the overlay? Yeah,
anyway.
Did I not put them in the Dropbox? I ran out to put them in the Dropbox.
Okay. Well, no, by the way, guys, we use Dropbox. So what I was going to say was
this. I had this thing.
Do it.
Oh, it's uploading.
Right. Okay. Well, while it uploads, I wanted to say.
I mean,
right. Yeah. You showed me that. Yeah.
I showed you that.
Exactly.
But it's like I just made a bunch of shit, and then today I was kind of scrambling a bit because I got home and I had shit to do.
But you know what? Let me go ahead and give credit to you, and also shout out again Nathan Perry over at Ref the District. It is hard to do an episode, like speak, be one of the personalities, and also figure out which graphics, because in your head you're seeing everything, so you're like thinking and speaking, and then going, "Oh, I'm going to go this way," and then all of a sudden you go, "No, I actually kind of like that one. I kind of like that one. I kind of like that one." You know, like that is hard. You know, so just to pull it behind the curtain one more time, guys, what KDot does is absolutely incredible. Like that is not easy. For me, I was like, please make these two graphics and I'll talk you through why I think we should, but I'm okay if we don't. That was all I had to do for this.
Pull the curtain back even further?
Sure.
I don't know why this was. This is me being brutally honest with you.
Sure.
I was annoyed by you. It's like,
sure.
I don't know why. So like so Amit just sends me a request for like $2,000, and I'm like, dude, yeah, send me whatever. I can't wait to do it. And what did you say? You said something, and for some reason, initially, it just made me upset. I don't know why. Maybe it's all the cancer curing last night.
Well, yeah, it could have been.
Where the fuck was it? It was
It's probably because I said, can you get instead of just like the names?
Right. That was it.
I knew that's what it was. As soon as I
names, you have their photos in uniform of them running routes or something. And I'm like, what the fuck does this asshole expect me to do? So here's like, you remember I apologized for not texting back?
Yeah.
I did. I meant to text back, but then I just went into fucking work mode. This took so long to make.
So, which, by the way, is incredible. Holy cow. Because it blew away my expectations. I literally was just like, oh, I was just sort of hoping for like a, Aiyuk is like, running like this or something like that. I didn't know if that was possible. Instead, you end up doing that, which, by the way, like ESPN doesn't do that. Fox doesn't do that. CBS doesn't do that. Like, you did that.
Each one of the players, I had to find a highlight reel. Then I had to go through the highlight reel to then select my own highlights that made sense without the Fox graphics and shit on it. Then I had to cut each. Those are 5 individually cut videos that I then had to sync up individually and then add them all to the same thing and then have it so that, motherfucker, you think them raising in the order doesn't take time? Like it was.
Oh no, I knew it.
But I'll tell you, but I'll submit this. The initial was like, how dare he have any editorial from me on how it is to make this happen?
That's fair.
But then, when I'm in the middle of doing it, I was having so much fucking fun. So it was like,
I'm sorry for making you better.
No,
I'm sorry for you breaking your boundaries.
That was it. You made me better. Because the thing was, like, if it was last night when I was in the groove, if you would send me that, like, I would have fucking bit. I would have.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but my initial reaction was like, "Fuck him." He didn't even tell me how it is that I. But no, keep it up, man. Keep it up, because here's the thing: of all the graphics I made today, that might be my favorite. It's my favorite. It might be my favorite.
It was unreal when you sent it to me. I was like, "Oh, that is incredible!" I literally was like, my jaw dropped. I was like, I was just looking for a PNG or something. Like, I don't know how it works. Like, just a still image.
Then this. Different highlights.
I know. And I was like, just use the same one. But it was incredible. I mean, those are pretty awesome stats. And the graphic was incredible. Let's I don't even know how to transition back to seriousness. You did a great job today. So I don't think you were horrific. What did you say?
I can play another graphic we didn't get to.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Which serves as a perfect transition. Did you read the John Keim article?
I read most of it. I thought I read the whole thing, but I ended up last night while I was making the graphics, I was reading it.
Yeah.
And I don't think I finished it. I don't think I ever got to the end.
I mean, but you probably got the gist of it.
Yeah, I definitely got the gist.
To be like, this guy, at least to those in the building, they seem to think he's the real deal, man. Like, it is very encouraging. It's hard not to get excited reading all of this. Like, again, the way we view John Keim on this show, guys, is like, he is the dude. So when he says something or he reports something, we're like, that's truth. If I had a weatherman tell me that it's going to be 70 and sunny, and John Keim told me it would probably be 55 and raining, might take an umbrella with me, honestly. Like, love the guy. This guy just is right all the fucking time. So when he drops that article on this team, and we're getting quotes about how prepared he is and how he's practicing for practice and how Luke's also there and they're developing chemistry, it's like, boy, oh boy, KDot, it's hard not to feel like we got the pick right. He hasn't even played it down yet. Like, and there's still plenty of way to go before the NFL season kicks off in 81 days. Thank you again. Shout out Art Mug. But man, it was cool. I don't know how you felt reading it, but it was fucking cool, man.
They made the right pick. So far they made the right pick.
So far,
I know as a JJ guy, I know I can say, looking at everything, looking at the way that they built the team, I did not know enough about Jayden. I can admit that now. Like, I watched a lot of it. I watched a lot of his tape. You can watch some of the interviews, but it was like you didn't really get a whole lot from him. I do remember, like, right around the draft, he did write the Players Tribune article. I don't know if we ever mentioned that or we talked about that.
We never did, actually.
We did.
No, we didn't.
But, like, reading that around that time, and then the more you start seeing that, like, we're starting to get familiar with him, I'm starting to see more of him. you get an idea like who he is and how it is that he's operating. You read the Keim article, and it scared me. It scares me to say this, but last year, CJ Stroud was not my top pick as far as quarterback. But when I started hearing in the offseason, when he was talking to Tom Brady and he asked Tom about like what to look at or what to focus on, and about not necessarily the X's and O's, but what he needed to be as far as a leader and what he needed to be for the locker room.
Right.
And I'm hearing more things about Jayden, like his relationships with some of the guys and how everybody looks at him. That to me is where I'm like, huh. Because there was the moment for me last year where he would CJ Stroud. Like, I still don't think that we're going to do anything. I was just like, I think this dude gets it. I'm not sure how good it'll be, but I think he gets it. And Jayden Daniels is like, I'm feeling that now. Yeah. Whereas I thought that like JJ had natural charisma to just be that guy. I kind of appreciate the fact that Jayden's working at it. You can see that there's a choice to be made. It's not, I'm not coasting on my natural charisma. I'm trying to be the guy that it needs to be.
You know, there's like the way I sort of saw it, at least in the lead up to the draft, is there's your corporate leaders, if you will, and like your standard jobs. And JJ very much struck me as that kind of person. Like, you know, he knows how to work the room in that regard. He says the right things. I remember you mentioned this fact when speaking to somebody. It's like, man, this guy listens. He pays attention. He's very charismatic. And I got that. And then there's there are different ways to lead. Right. And Jayden was striking me, at least as I was reading about him, as like a quiet guy, but he knows his way around it. Like, you know, he figures it out. And then you hear, of course, now Louis Riddick seems to be a biased source on it because he immediately was there from the jump. And he was like, he's giving me CJ Stroud vibes. Like, I'm seeing similar things at the LSU Pro Day. So, of course, I was already on that boat. So I was excited. But you could tell, at least I could, and I know a handful of others, that like the way that he runs a room is different, but it is damn effective. So we'll see what happens. Again, like you had said, KDot, it looks like we made the right pick, but that's just so far being those two key words there.
Right.
But again, if they were to trade for Aiyuk, I think that signal of we've seen enough of Jayden to trust him is what I think is the biggest part of that trade for me. That's what I would read into it as.
Yeah, so, I don't think anybody's bigger than their process is what it reads.
Correct.
Like
correct. And I think we stay together on that. Yeah.
So like, so I trust the decisions that are being made. Like if you do enough things where I'm like, but I haven't done that once yet. So like nothing hasn't made sense that I can recall, like looking through everything that we've done. Yeah, I don't feel as though that's the thing is like anything that would happen. You said something earlier in the pod, that you'd make the exception. And I think that I trust them in their process so much that Aiyuk wouldn't be an exception.
Yes.
So well said. It would be that like, hey, maybe I don't see the clear vision.
Yeah.
Like that's where I get, they've earned that much from me so far that I would go as far as to say, yeah, maybe I don't understand the full process. I'm still learning.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say, oh no, you fucked this up. Like this is not what we've been doing. It just feels different. But if they do it, I still think it falls within parameters of what it is they want it to do.
Yeah. And I think it should also be said, Kate, I don't know about you. I don't see this happening, just to be clear. Like, I would be surprised just because I think San Francisco should have some suitors. And if they choose to trade him, they will be able to choose. And I would suspect they choose an AFC team just to play it safe and not have to worry about him being in division. Somebody had mentioned he could get traded to the Lions, and I was like, okay, first off, they just played Amon-Ra St. Brown, but also like that would be scary. I would not want to do that if I'm the San Francisco 49ers, for example. Washington right now, totally different space. You could see, at least just from the record last season and stuff like that. But you know the connection between Jayden and Aiyuk. Do you want to make that happen? Do you want to risk that? I don't know. So they're in an interesting spot. Can we talk about Bakhtiari for a moment? Because this dude, like, we've talked about him outside of this. I'm glad he's trying to come back. But I will say this. I do not want him over here, and I would question some of the process if we brought him over here. The guy just cannot. It'll ultimately be an Adam Peters we trust, but I'll be like, that's one where I'm like, okay, well, we'll see. Like, the guy just can't stay healthy anymore. Like, it's also like all the protection of Aaron. He did much more protecting of Aaron off the field in the last 5-6 years than he did on the field. Like, it's just, I don't know. There's something about his personality and like the tweeting and crap and all that sort of rubs me the wrong way while he's not playing a single fucking down. That's what is sort of irritating about him. And now all of a sudden he's like, by the way, I'm putting in a lot of work. It's the first time I've heard of any fucking work in fucking 5 years, bud. Like, there's something that just rubs me the wrong way about him. Anyway, go ahead.
I ain't saying nothing about David.
I know why, but anyway.
Yeah, I know. Well, you know, audience doesn't need to know now, but
yeah.
I'm
okay saying it.
I think he's an interesting dude. He does certain things that are outside of the box of what normal people would, or what people would consider normal. Would I say no to having him in the building? No, I'd be cool with it. But but I also think that, like, while I won't necessarily, I don't want to get into details, but
yeah, that's fine.
I will still have heavy criticism for one guy associated to David, and that's not going to stop.
No, nor should
it's just
it.
It's moved. It's moved, and it's not as personal. But like, yeah, Rodgers can still get this heat. But but Bakhtiari, I think he's an interesting dude, and I actually think he's a lot of fun. I think that the Rodgers creates a situation from a teammate standpoint that is almost, and once again, this is me as an outsider, no inside knowledge, but it feels kind of toxic to me. Aaron has his dudes,
there, yeah,
right. Aaron's has his dudes, right, but there's like, yeah, I like when you're saying like he's a weird, like, what does that do to team chemistry or this, that, and the other? But I'm like,
I'm thinking of it that way. But I also maybe you're right. Maybe it's the Rodgers side of things, and like now that he's clear of it, and like people grow, and like
I think Bakhtiari and Dan Quinn is I think
that's
a
true.
Fun combo.
That's true. Okay.
So like the only thing with me,
wrong, just to be clear.
The only thing with me, like, if I'm looking at his injury track record recently, it doesn't make me think he's going to be sustained for a long period of time. Right. I'm hoping it's not the case. I hope he does get to play because I think he's a hell of a player. I still think he's still a hell of a player when he's playing. But if I'm trying to build the offensive line and build camaraderie with Jayden and do everything we need to do to have as many guys on the field as possible at any given point in time, do I want to put faith in Bakhtiari compared to developing Brandon Coleman time? But like, so I don't know. But if for the right price point, like, I don't say no to most offensive linemen. I just don't think you can have enough bodies there.
KDot for yeah, that's also true. You cannot have enough bodies there. If he'd be good for culture, they're more open to it. I think just whatever recent sort of things I've seen, whether it be tweet, I don't know. It just hasn't rubbed me, you know, the right way. Like, I don't know. There's something. What'd you say?
I was thinking about this. You know who Jayden Daniels kind of reminds me of? And Jalen Hurts. They're reserved.
Yeah.
They're quiet.
Yeah.
They kind of. But then I look at Philadelphia and I say that over the course of the last decade plus, who was the leader in the locker room?
I mean, there's Jason Kelce.
That's the name. It's Jason Kelce. Yeah. And Kelce had a way in which he could bring stuff out of Jalen, make him a little more fun. And I look at a guy like Bakhtiari and I'm like, that could be our guy for that. Like, he's a dude that it's been around. He loves to drink his beer.
I think
Cosby
could be our guy for that.
Cosby could absolutely be that dude too, right? So like, I'm looking for that dude, but I want to see. I need my goofy white dude that can kind of like fuck around with Jayden to some degree, and like to pull it out. Like the moments that, like, even the TikTok where you're seeing Jayden kind of. What does he say, mama?
Yeah, but by the way, just so we've seen him in all these interviews and stuff like that, and he's more reserved. You see him with somebody he's really close to. You see that,
you see what I'm saying?
Right?
Like, I need more of that. I want more of that. So like, if
we may never get that, but he's giving that to his teammates as he gets to know them, and that's all that matters to me.
But I look across. If I'm looking at the Washington Commanders right now, who's the most fun player on the team is probably Jeremy Reeves, who already pissed off Bobby Wagner. So I mean,
okay. But also, just a quick note of the Keim article, and then back to you, how Jayden goes over to him and goes, "What's up, Revo?" And he's clearly done research on all the teammates with them and stuff like that. Go ahead, back to
my favorite thing so far of watching anything in the offseason has been the Jayden Daniels Sam Hartman love affair.
Yeah, exactly. Like everyone's vibing.
It's so good. But cool. I like the idea of somebody being able to pull that piece out of Jayden just a bit more. Sure. I want to see more of his personality. And maybe that's something that protects him as far as a player and whatever it is he's doing. But I would just say selfishly, I like the idea of the more outspoken guy being able to have more of those moments with Jayden, clearly just having fun and like letting his guard down a little bit.
I suspect you see it with time.
I think there is going to be a certain degree, but I think with Jayden, there is an angle of he's guarded. I think he's very selective about what he's showing to whom at any given point in time, which is a good thing for most people. Mm-hmm. I'm not quite like that, but I understand when people are.
Well, I mean, if you want that, then maybe up your second to a first for Brandon Aiyuk, because you definitely get it if he were over here. I mean,
there's a difference between like having the. I don't know, man. Everybody's been like, you've been to camp or work or something where you had the two people that knew each other, and then they kind of just sequester off and they got their inside jokes, and it's just them two. But it's not like having a crew of like 3 or 4 dudes. It's just the two, and it just feels awkward for everybody because it's like, it's just you two.
And the difference in LSU, of course, he's older, but he's got Malik, who he's super close with. You can tell. Yeah. But he's also got Brian Thomas. In case I would he had that became the 3 and 4 and stuff like that. Whereas in ASU, he's a freshman, granted, but it seemed to be like Brandon, right? Yeah. So anyway, can we talk about Rodgers for a moment though? Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know how you feel about it, but he has been to all the voluntary stuff. To be fair, so just to make it fair, he's been to all that. But the moment mandatory minicamp hits, he's not there. And I think for a guy that played 4 snaps last season, he should probably be there, especially because he also said that we're removing all the bullshit that has nothing to do with winning from the locker room. And then he does that. And I mean, the speculations that he is at an ayahuasca retreat, look, I don't care really where he is. Like, it's just that didn't line up. The whole take the bullshit off, and maybe he makes the claim, let's say he's there at an ayahuasca retreat, that like it helps him open his mind and play like an MVP. Okay, was that the only one? Like, was that the only one of the year? Like, I don't know. It just, and I like Aaron, but that is crazy to me. Like, this is when we buy in. Anyway, that's me. Go ahead.
Knowing that you're someone that probably needs to go to one of the ayahuasca camps to strip the ego from the ground up. Maybe it'll help you with your drug addiction. Look, if you're an Aaron Rodgers and you've performed to the level at which you perform, I'm not really mandatory minicamp, all the rest of the shit. We just sort of know what it is. I don't know. Who gives a shit? Like, if I'm being completely honest, I get that it looks a certain way. I get it can mean a certain way, but I know I saw Hard Knocks last year with the Jets. He's the anointed one. They all know, and they built this entire building of like, if he can come and he can play, he's our savior. I think that it's flawed fundamentally, but you know that the way I feel about Aaron and where it is that I think he's a bit overrated in certain aspects of just play. Yeah. Because I don't think he's been the best as far as making everyone around him better. I think the Jets have issues. And I think that what's going to end up happening, the Nathaniel Hackett piece of it to me is the most glaring part of it. The fact that the offense floundered the way it did last year and they were just lost. And you can clearly see, they just thought Aaron was going to be the offense coordinator out there on the field. Like, that's their solution. Aaron is their savior. It's going to go as good or bad as it is that Aaron takes them. So, like, if you put that much stock into one guy, I think it is fundamentally a flawed thing to do. If your name's not Tom Brady, I ain't fucking doing it for you. And even if it's Tom, there's got to be rules, because you see with the Bruce Arians connection stuff early on, it did not go well. If you've already laid this bed and you're all in, let him go to the fucking ayahuasca, whatever the fuck it is he's going to go. Shut the fuck up.
I guess to your point, you know what you got yourself into. And so here we are. I just think, maybe I was hopeful that for the Jets, just seeing the vibes that we have right now, everyone's there, 100% participation, and, what we're building over here. We know what Aaron's about, right? He's a, 4-time MVP? Is that right? Something like it's 3 or 4. Like, he's clearly incredible. It's me being it's less about him and more about the signal it sends. Same thing with the signal it sends to his teammates, and avoids an entire thing that's happening right now for them, which I think that stuff matters.
But 2 things to that. Number 1, you saw Hard Knocks.
I did.
He's not the same as them. They all admit that he's not the same as them. So why would the rules be the same
Hard
for him
Knocks
as they are
just
for them?
giant. We're sucking Aaron off.
Like, you saw the episode, but it was true because you saw nobody was faking it. They all were bubbly and fucking happy to ride the Rodgers cock. So, like, that's just what it was. But the other part of this, which makes me feel for Aaron, you have that many years on you in the NFL. The worst thing in the world, and the thing that makes all these guys retire, is fucking training camp and minicamp and all that shit. You don't want to fucking do it again. You had Rodgers, did all of that shit show for everything last year, did all that kind of stuff, lasted 30 seconds on the fucking football field, did not get to play at all.
That's a good point.
And then it's like, come back and do it all again, buddy. If you're Aaron, you're like, dude, if I haven't played a game, fuck this. Like, there's so much you're gonna make me do with this stuff. It's not like there's a whole bunch of new guys in the offense I gotta get acquainted with. We just did this. It's new to me. I just did this. Okay, I wasn't on the field with you guys. So, like,
that's fair. It's
just shooting some bail. Like, and trust me, I got criticism for Aaron. I got major criticism for Aaron. But, like, I don't think if Aaron was here in Washington pulling this shit, I'd have a problem. But I also wouldn't anoint him as our savior. I don't like the savior complex. You know how anti that is I am. The Caitlin Clark thing, I don't like when somebody gets elevated above and beyond everybody else. I just think it's unfair to everybody involved, and it usually doesn't work out.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark, another topic. But, we've been going for 90 minutes now. So we're going to take off and let you guys go. But this has been an absolute blast. Thank you guys so much for listening.
God damn it.
So we'll see you the following Friday, 2 p.m. So until then, unless Aiyuk gets traded. So we'll talk. Until then, take it easy.
Bye, everybody. Say yes to tucking. Say no to drugs.
In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.